everyone, my name is Catherine and this is EleWebDev, which is short for Elementor Website Development. This channel is dedicated to beginners and intermediates of the Elementor page builder for WordPress. So today's topic is all about containers and container children. I ran into a bug today. I don't even think it's a bug. It's just I could not control the width of children items inside of a container. Now, let me rephrase that, because there's a parent container and then there are children containers inside. And I was trying to control the children containers. So let's take a look at my desktop and let me set this up for you. So I've just got a parent container here and it's got a gray background. That's all I've set up so far. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a title, a heading, and I'm going to center that title. And I'm going to add my 3 children now. But I'm going to set up the first child container. And it always loves to jump on top. So let's just switch this around. There we go. So I've got my title first, and now I've got 1 child. And the reason why I created this child container is because I'm going to put an icon box and another item in there. I'm going to add a button. And so now I want to control the content of the child. So I'm going to click on Edit Container. And I'm going to go to Items, and I'm going to say the content within this container I want to be centered. Now the default setting for a container is to be a column. If I set this to row, they'll be side by side. But even if I set column and turn it off, it is defaulted to column. All right, so I've got my child container and I've got the 2 items inside of it. So now I want to make 3 children. So I'm going to hit duplicate and duplicate. Now, the default setting is that it is a column, so that's great. And now I want to set these 3 children to be 33% so that they're side by side. So I'm going to click on one of these children containers and I'm going to say Edit Container. Now over here, the container width, very easy. We'll just set percentage and I'll click inside here and put 33.3%. Wait a minute, what just happened? I said I wanted you to be 33%, but yet you're still 100% of the width. Wait a minute. Okay, this child of this container is still 100%. So basically what I just did was I controlled the child inside of this container to be 33%. That's not what I want. Okay, here's the problem. The problem is, let me get my pointer, it is the content width. It is right now set to boxed. We have to change boxed to full width. And you're like, well, it's back to 100%. Well, true, because the default value for full width is 100%. So if I come in here and set 33.3%, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. This child is now 33%. All right. So now that I have it set where I want, I'm going to right click, choose copy, and I'm going to paste this style onto each one of these other children. Paste style. Okay, great. Now they're in a column. So we need to set the parent container to tell the children to be in a row. So I'm going to go up here to the parent container and I'm going to edit the content. I'm going to go to items and I'm going to set it to row. Well, that's great. Now everything's in a row, including my header. But I don't want my header to be, beside it. I want it to be above. Okay, so let's see if we can force this title. I'm going to right-click and edit the heading. I'm going to go to Advanced, and I'm going to come to Width right here. And I'm going to say Default. I don't want default. I want full width, 100%. Ooh, okay. Well, it's not 100%. And the reason why is because the default setting for a container is no wrap. Okay, so let's go to the parent container, and I'm going to right-click and choose Edit Container because I want the content of this parent container. I want the content to wrap. So I'm going to come to Items of the parent container, and I'm going to say Wrap. Woo, we're getting close. We're getting close. Now, wait a minute. I set these features, these children containers, to be 33%. Why are they not stacked side by side? Well, you probably can't see it, but there is a space between each one of these children. And the parent container has a default space, element gap. So if we take our pointer and we come over here and we look, element gap has default 20 pixels. So if I come in here and I force the element gap to be 0, hey, look at that. We've got all three of our items with no gap in between them. So now all we have to do is start spacing things out, and let's add a little bit of margin on the bottom, let's say 30, and let's pad up our container and give us a little bit more. Let's give it 50 here and 50 there. And now we've got a perfectly, the children are behaving themselves inside of the parent container. And the reason why these children are behaving themselves is because we set the content width of the children to be full width and forced that width to be 33%. So I hope that this has helped you with getting these children wrangled inside of a parent container, because this was a pain point for me and I didn't know what was going on. But if I go back to the desktop and show you, here's how I figured it out. I went down here and added a container, and I selected a structure, and I selected 3 side by side. So I said, there's got to be an understanding. So here's these 3 containers. And so I clicked on this container. I said, it's got to be something with this child. Sure enough, it changed to full width right here. And this child is 25. If I come over here and click this container, it's 50 right here, 50%. And then clicking this container is 25. But all 3 of them, you have to force the children to be full width in order for that to work properly. So I hope this video helps you, the madness that is these containers, to wrap our brains around how it's supposed to work.